A few years ago, when I first started the channel, I had a strange follow that hailed the Loch, which I thought was an Arctic Char. That led me to kind of learning how to fish for them, just to see if they were actually in the Loch. And lo and behold, up they popped. And I started catching char every time I'd look for them, basically. They seemed to be thriving in the Loch. Population in Orkney was meant to be extinct, so I didn't know really where to go with it. But I managed, through the channel and through some contacts, get in touch with the scientists who could perhaps run some tests. The local authorities here didn't seem that interested, to be fair. They were extinct, there was nothing more to do with it. What muddied the waters a little, there was a fish farmer in Hoy who had access to 7 or 8 different strains of Scottish fish, all strains of Arctic Char. And I believe at one time or another, he kind of threatened to reintroduce them into the Loch. So as far as science goes, that was where we were at. They were reintroduced by a fish farmer. And the only way we would ever find out would be to compare DNA samples. So, as per the videos early on in the channel, I clipped the adipose fins of a few Arctic Char, sent Inverness for comparison. As I said, that it was long believed that they were extinct, and I kind of found that the scientific community kind of dragged their heels a bit and weren't really interested. But we had the names of the lochs, the more prominent lochs, where the fish farmer had access to stock from, and we now had samples of Orkney fish. So these were put to an expert and they were tested, and lo and behold, all but one came back negative, the one being Loch Luichart. So I decided, in my infinite wisdom, I would go to Luichart and I would get the samples myself. So that's what I did. I walked up at Luichart, rods in hand, and found out that it was completely inaccessible. It took me about 2 hours to cover half a mile to get round to the place where I thought the Arctic Char would be. I still probably wasn't close to deep water, but found that the Loch just didn't want me there. So plan B would be to go back with a kayak, and that's what I'll do. I'll go back, I'll access the Loch. But for a bit of fun, a spinner blade and a bundle of worms produced a pike. Now, me being from Orkney, I've never caught a pike. That's why I look so delighted with this little fella. The first pike I've ever caught. And that led me to think, bit of time, I'll go to another loch. I like spin fishing, as it's called, or fishing with lures. So I decided I would try just the usual method, slightly bigger reel, braid this time, wire for the trace, and lo and behold I caught another one. It wasn't a fluke. I'd heard pike were these massive fighting fish. It would better a trout, and I don't know, the jury was still out on that. And quite quickly at this other loch I landed another kind of 1.5 pound pike. You'll notice the lure there, it's featured in other videos in this channel. The old pink and white zerling, because it was quite a dull day. Put it on for the trout, catch trout. Put it on a bit of wire, it seems you catch pike. So I would have been happy enough with my day there. That's 2 pikes. I'm now a pike angler, not just a trout angler. And the forecast was rain, so I didn't think we'd be staying long. But got back to the van and thought I'll try another cast. And I hit into this. I mean, thumbnail, you'll see what I hooked into, but I just wanted to see for myself if I was capable of throwing a lure, predominantly what I would use for sea trout, for trout. Seems this thing's catch everything and anything. But I really enjoyed the fight. They do, it might be the time of year now, Pike boys would know, but they pull hard. Obviously they're powerful fish. They're all fins at the back, but in terms of madness, I don't think we'd beat a trout. I think a trout this size would give me a far better run for my money, but I don't know, it could be the time of year. You can see again there that line through lures, just as soon as she shakes her head, lures up the line and there's no leverage, there's nothing to pull. I was quite confident I was going to land this fish as soon as I hooked it. The only difference being for me is I did put a treble on with this because apparently they're very hard, bony bastards in the mouth, so they're quite difficult to keep a hold of that way. But this was a good enough hook set. Seemed to hold on to it, no bother. I've not been doing many fishing videos recently. Life's changed, times have changed. Had a few last season. At this point, I think there was an old couple turned up in the redness and micro.
It's too small.
So pressure was
bigger
on.
nets in the back. I'm not gonna get it in the net.
Didn't have the right size net. I wasn't expecting anything this size. Bigger net was in the van.
I just thought there was small pike in here. Aye. I thought there were just small things in here I've never been.
Yeah, so the only way I was going to land this thing was to gently beach it, I thought, so that's exactly what I did. There you are, there's the treble. The only difference being the inline lures on a bit of wire. There's a fair set of teeth in that thing. My index finger found it when it laid it in shite. But I've learnt that lesson. So there we go, there's one happy boy. His third pike. I'm a pike angler now. So. But in all seriousness, between work and commitments south, I'll probably be doing a lot more fishing like this, whether it's pike or trout in some Scottish lochs. But I have no fear. I know young Alex is this channel now fishing Orkney. He'll cover the Orkney lochs. He's more than capable, he's some boy. It's a kind of mincy walk. Some bark. I had to that pike were quite soft and you have to treat them accordingly, but that went back no problem. So there you go, first video for a while, a bit of a mishmash, but just explains where I'm at just now, and I'm looking forward to getting back to Loch Luichart with a canoe, stroke kayak, to access the bits, get more char, get the samples. Job's a good one, so when you're up and at it, tight lines folks.